Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the second best car in Asphalt 9, the W Motors Fenyr Supersport. I got this car through multiplayer and club rewards, and I have since 2-starred it, and I actually only have 4 blueprints left to 3-star, but I will not be getting those before the end of the season, so I decided to make a video now. My tuning is 6666 with a rank of 3666. Illuminati confirmed? So the first race of this video is a very close battle between me and the third best car in the game, a Lycan. So at 2 stars, the Fenner has average acceleration, I'd say. It's not horrible, but it's not especially great either. We have a bit of clashing with the VLF and the Lycan at the beginning, but we shockwave up these ramps and catch up to the guy in first place a bit, who is an Icona, and he wrecked, and we barely missed his carcass. I've overused that joke, I know. So just like that, we are in first position. So the thing about the Lycan, while it's slower than the Fenner by 5 to 10 miles per hour, I believe, when they're at both the same amount of stars, I believe he's in a 2-star Lycan. The Lycan does have better drifting and maybe slightly better nitro efficiency. Not sure about that. But the Fenner has another advantage over the Lycan in that it is a 6-star car instead of a 5-star one, and therefore at max it is definitely better than the Lycan. But the Lycan is not all that far behind. As we'll see in this race, this Lycan here nearly caught up to me, partially because of my bit of lack of nitro after landing from that 360, but also because a Lycan in the right hands can be very powerful. But I will say a Fenner in the right hands is probably even more powerful. So a lot of you guys probably saw my video recently about the best and worst cars in each class in Asphalt 9. In that list, I put this car at number 2 and the Lycan at number 3 with the Chiron on top. And I still think that's correct. However, there's a little issue, I would say, at the bottom of the list with the Trion Nemesis being at second to last. You see, the Trion is a very difficult car to drive, with its horrible nitro efficiency, the worst in the game, I believe, and its not so great acceleration, which is kind of odd considering in Asphalt 8 it has very good acceleration. But that car, when start up especially 2 or 3 stars or more, can actually be very good on the right tracks in the right hand. So it's a bit exclusive to those tracks that have long straightaways, but still, I don't think it really deserves to be second to last on the list. I'd probably put it above the Egoista, maybe above the Icona. I don't know. But yeah, that is the one amendment I would make to that list, moving the Trion Nemesis up a few spots. So the Lycan behind us wrecked not too far before the finish line, and thus we pull out the victory. I feel kind of bad for that Lycan. He was in second place, but then wrecked, and came in last and went down 21 rating. Sounds like some of my races. But thankfully, nothing like that has happened to me in the Fenner. The Fenner is just so good that when I've gotten knocked down at the beginning of a race, as you will see later in this video, I've usually been able to catch up and beat pretty much anything except for another Fenner or a Lycan. Mostly because of the Fenner's amazing speed of 265 or so miles per hour, which is just amazing. At the end of the season, I'll probably get enough blueprints to 3-star this car. However, open seasons do not come around very often, so I don't know when I'll be able to drive this thing again. So I'm definitely going to make the most of it while I have it. So my pattern this season in Legend League has been Icona, Lycan, Fenner, wait 5 hours, Icona, Lycan, Fenner, and so on. Now, it was very difficult to get into Legends League. If you guys saw my stream, you will see the problems I was having. So the problem with this season is that there are no cars in Platinum League that can compete adequately with the 3 best or 4 best cars if you count the Trion in Legend League. The SCG is the closest thing you can get, and even it is like 20 miles per hour slower than the Lycan. So unless you have a very highly starred SCG or P1 or FXXK or something like that, it's going to be quite difficult to get into Legends League this season. The only reason I managed to do it was because I had a lot of good races in a row in the SCG. And so if you got an SCG at least 3 stars, you should be able to get to Legend League. So here we go at 13, we beat a Lycan, an Icona, and a LaFerrari. The LaFerrari, as I've said before, is seeming to be my bad luck card this season. The problem is, it is very sluggish. While it has a top speed near to that of the P1 and the Aventador SV and a lot of other high-end A-class cars, it just has horrible acceleration, even at 2 stars, and at 3 stars, I really don't think it's much better at all. So I gave up on using that car pretty quickly. So here we flat spin, land on somebody because he went below me. It wasn't on purpose. But then as we land, we get 360'd or something, maybe squished to the side. I don't know quite what, but we get knocked down, put back into second position with an Icona ahead of us. Now the Icona has about, 20 miles per hour better top speed than this car. He's almost off the map, but we do have 2 laps. Do you think we can catch up with him in 2 laps? We will see. Now, behind me are 2 other Icona Volcanos. I believe the 3 Iconas in this race are all at 4 stars, the same as mine, which, by the way, has nearly as good drifting as the Lycan now that I think about it, and possibly better drifting than even this Fenner. So guys, in Asphalt 8 news, I have won the Ferrari Pista. Now, that car was a bit of a pain to get because its championship was quite difficult. Now, the reason was I had no V8 engines to begin with, and I literally had to scrounge around opening hundreds of starter boxes to get enough V8s to get this car to the point where I could barely complete the Azure Coast time goals with a frame to spare, and I still had to auto pass 2 of them, and now I'm down to 200 tokens, and as you might be able to tell, that was not a pleasant experience for me. Anyways, the Pista was my 195th car in Asphalt 8, and I do plan to make a video about it sometime soon. As I've said in previous videos, I am not going to quit Asphalt 8 until I get at least 200 cars. With this experience with the Pista and running so low on engines and tokens has really made me sure that I'm going to quit at some point in the near future. Because if every new car requires 50 engines, which seems to be happening now, it's just unsustainable. So here we knock down this Icona, who has been in first place throughout the entirety of the race pretty much. Just very near the end of the second lap, we catch up to him, knock him down, and go across this final ice bit to take the first place. The Fenner feels like a more stable car than the Lycan. While it doesn't have as good of drifting, it doesn't bounce around as much and do weird glitchy stuff like the Lycan does. It's just a very good and stable car. So we've beat all these Iconas as well as an FXXK. Now, once you reach Legends League, you probably don't want to use any of the Platinum League cars anymore because it's hard enough to reach Legend League in them. Just imagine how hard it will be to gain rating in them once you reach Legend League. So as we can see here, the Icona definitely does start up faster than the Fenner. The Icona is one of those really just all-around amazing cars in Asphalt 9 that has above average, well, pretty much everything. The Fenner and the Lycan are more top speed oriented and thus will do better on tracks such as the Himalayas, for example, but the Icona will do very well on twistier ones. And I have had some actually very close encounters with Iconas when I've been driving my Lycan. So after rounding the bend, we shockwave and get up to near our top speed. And this is the place on this track where I usually catch up to cars that start up faster than me if I'm in a faster speed car. However, this Icona is not giving up yet. I go up this ramp and then shockwave around the turn, and only then do I manage to pass him. So I would say that definitely the Fenner is my favorite car to use in this multiplayer season. The reason, though, that I do cycle between the Icona and the Lycan and this car and not go just with this car is because you can only play with this car 3 times every 6 hours. So we come in first in this race, ahead of the Icona, who is very close to my rank. Now for the final race in the video, in which we are facing a rank 3,841 Icona, which I believe is 5 stars. So I guess now I'll give my general review of this car. As I've said, it is the second best car in the game, at least on the majority of tracks, just behind the Chiron. It is obtained through mainly multiplayer, but if you're in a club that can reach 1.5 million rep points per season, you can get an extra 5 blueprints from club rewards. But the easiest way is definitely through multiplayer. If you can get in the top 50 or even top 100 every season, you can probably get this car in not too long of time. So what are my future plans for Asphalt 9? Right now, I plan to skip everything before the Bugatti Chiron because I really want that car and I really want it at 2 stars so that I can make it purple. This means I'm going to probably skip the Huayra BC, which is the car that's coming up that has the countdown for it right now. I already have the 918, SV, and P1 all at 3 stars, and the BC would be completely useless to me. Except for maybe in its multiplayer season, but there's probably some other good cars that I can compete with. Also, we have the Regera coming at some point. That car is not as good as the Chiron. It's still pretty good, but I really want to save all my tokens for the Chiron, so I might skip that as well. Depends on if I get lucky like I did with the 918, I guess. So we have come in first in this race. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9 content, and streams as well, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!